what I expected it to be. And I'm not saying that I would ever change anything. I want to be home with my kids. I want to raise my children. But like, I thought, like, I remember talking to Annie about, like, you know, when I'm done work and how much time I'm going to have as a stay-at-home mom to do just like anything and everything. And it's actually kind of stressful some days, but I just want to focus on just having fun with them, even on the temper tantrum days, even on the crappy, busy days. I just want to do something where we are together and just having a good time, because life is too short to not have fun with your kids, especially when they're little and actually want to spend time with you. And I think besides that, I would love, love, love. Actually, I'm not even going to say I would love. We will be a 2-star team this year, and we will be a premier team. I am not going to say I hope or I would love to. It's going to happen. Doing that manifestation thing where you like speak your goals like it's happening.
I'll talk about that here soon.
Mm-hmm.
Those are awesome. And I love reading your guys' goals so much. These are really good. So we're going to start off with Reagan, and she is going to talk about, you know, how to be your highest self. I'll let her take this over because she's very good with her words, and she has to preach this to me every single day. So take it over.
All right. So I wanted to start off with just kind of like how to define your goals and how to become your highest self or the best version of yourself. This is something that's actually quite new to me. It's something that I have just recently started, probably like a few months ago. But ever since I've started thinking about the best version of myself, the highest version of myself, and who that is, I have seen my business grow. I've seen just my life change in so many different ways. So I think this is so important for anyone to just look at. So first of all, I don't know if you guys have pen and paper or if you just want to make like a mental list or whatever, but I want you guys to think about or even make a list of the areas of your life that are most important to you. So like some of those to me are like my health, my family, my relationship with my spouse, my career, leisure activities. So like what you do for fun, how you unwind and relax, friendships, faith and religion, if you are religious, stuff like that. What is important to you in your life, and what areas of your life do you just hold highly, right? So I'll just give you guys a minute to write that down or make a mental list. Okay, and once you guys are kind of like finishing up that list of things that are important in your life, I want you to evaluate, all in all, how would you rate these areas between 1 and 10 in the year 2019? So where did you struggle, and where did you thrive, and where can you improve? So just like rate them all quickly, like 1 to 10. And while you guys are doing that, I'll just like tell you guys, like I felt like for me, my career was like a 5. Sorry, 1 second. My doorbell just rang.
I'm going to mute her and I'll take over. Okay, so as you're doing this, just rate like every category that you can think of. You don't have to go super in depth, but just keep it to like, so my top one is my relationship with my husband. So what would I rate that in 2019, and why would I rate that? If you do it that way, then you can really be conscious about, hey, like we got married last year. Like that's amazing. But let's talk about the whole year. Yes, that was the peak, but when you evaluate the whole year, how was it? Okay.
Sorry about that. Somebody rings my doorbell at a really weird time of evening. Anyways, so I can just say, like, for me personally, my career was about a 5 because I was working at a job that I didn't love as much, but then I actually ended up going off work because I was pregnant and then on maternity leave, and I got to work this job. So like I really enjoyed this job, and like I enjoyed coaching and stuff. So, you know, and I can say, like, for my family, I felt like because I was at home all year last year pretty much, I felt like my family was a lot better. However, with us having a new baby and stuff like that, I did feel like my relationship was probably rated at, like, you know, like I feel like a lot of things went well with me and Sean. Like we became a lot stronger through this experience, but I would like to see us spend more time together, like as a couple, and go on date nights and stuff like that. Like I feel like we didn't do that like at all because I was pregnant and then we had a baby and there was just a lot going on. So this year, like my relationship is like a huge one for me that I want to improve. Like I want to see date nights, I want to, you know, do all the fun stuff. So anyways, like that's just some examples for me. So now I want you to describe your highest self and be specific. What does she do in her daily life? Who is she with? What does she spend her time doing? What does she eat? What does she drink? How does she carry herself? I want you guys to just get specifics. So, for example, like, I don't want you to just say, like, my highest self is 10 pounds lighter. I want you to say, like, my highest self works out for 30 minutes every day, or whatever, like, that looks like to you. Don't just be like, my highest self is healthy, but like, what does healthy mean to you? To me, that means that my highest self is drinking half of my body weight in ounces of water. It means that my highest self is eating lots of vegetables and eating things that make me feel good. It means that my highest self is moving my body for 30 minutes a day. And something new that I even added to like my list that my highest self does is my highest self practices yoga twice a week, because when I do yoga, I feel really aligned and I just feel like really good and at peace with myself. Actually, every time that I finish up a yoga session, I feel incredible. So be really specific on like what things your highest self does. You guys can just give me like a little wave when you're starting to finish up there. Perfect. Okay, now I want you guys to take notice of something. So those things that you rated before, from 1 to 10 on how things went in 2019, do you notice that some of those weaker areas are some of the things that your higher self actually practices every day? So something that's rated a little bit lower, your highest self is actually doing those things like every day and practicing that every day. So that is something to really take into consideration now, because if you want to be the best version of yourself, the only way to do it is to actually show up as the best version of yourself. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So now I want us to take a moment and think about what small steps that you need to take in order to strengthen the weaker areas of your life, in order to fill the shoes of your higher self. So that's just like that reverse engineering that I was talking about. Don't just be like, I want to be healthy, but like define what healthy means to you. Don't just be like, I would like my relationship to improve. Define what a good relationship looks like to you. And then that is how you define your goals, is by defining what's important to you, seeing where you're lacking and seeing where you're strong, and then seeing what your highest self does and showing up as that person. Because you know what, for example, for me, my highest self is somebody who is unconcerned about the thoughts and opinions of others, and I don't let the little things get to me or give me anxiety. That is something that I really struggled with for a long time. But it's no good for me to be like, my highest self just doesn't care what other people think. Like, I had to put the effort in to make that happen. So how was I going to do that? Well, that means that my highest self listens to personal development for however long a day, but listens to like personal development every day. Listens to something that's going to feed her mind with positivity, and to give me the strength to push past those feelings of anxiety that I was feeling every time that, somebody might have said something rude or whatever happened, right? Like, that was something that I needed. So that is how, you kind of just define your goals and you figure out what they are. Because sometimes it's like you have these big goals, or you think you have these big goals, and then you actually like write down what's important to you, and you're like, oh, well, these are actually my goals, because this is where I'm weak and this is what I need to improve on. But yeah, the only way to become your higher self is to show up as that person. So if you want to be 10 pounds lighter, if you want to be 15 pounds lighter, let's say, you would like to lose some weight or tone up or whatever your fitness goals are, for example. And then you notice that like your health for 2019, you rated a 2. Well, you just kind of have to like link the area of life that you are weak in and link that with the goal that you have, and see what steps you need to take from there. And that's how you reverse engineer it. So now that you guys have that written down, what I want you guys to just like even write down like in the chat, like what one area you were weak in was. Or even like unmute yourself, it doesn't matter. Nutrition. Yeah, I feel ya. Self-care. Help. Finances. Yeah, I feel that. Showing up for my business, nutrition, financial stability. Yeah, I feel that for sure. And I was a personal banker, and I feel the financial one. But yeah, like I feel that stuff. So now that you guys like have addressed that and saw that like those are your weak spots, what small step are you going to take every day in order to improve that weak spot and strengthen it? So for me, I think me and my husband are going to have to start planning out, like, I don't know if we're going to get out weekly date nights because we got 2 kids, but I mean, like, we might do bi-weekly date nights and actually, like, schedule it, right? Like, that's the thing that, like, I think we lack on is, like, we say, oh, let's go out for a date night. And then we're like, we should go to a movie this day, or we should do this day. And then we just forget about it. Something comes up with the kids, we get busy. But if we had scheduled that, made plans for a babysitter for that, or for my parents to watch the kids, we'd actually happily go and have a date night. And that is what Annie's going to kind of talk about, like how to actually like take action on it and make it happen. So now that we, like now that I've told you how to define your goals and kind of how to reverse engineer them, now let's talk about actually doing that. So Annie, take it away.
Let me take a drink of water. Ian was making fun of me because I had to make me tea because I lose my voice super easy. So when I host calls, by the end of it, I'm like dying for water. So I have to stay very hydrated on these calls. Okay, so this is the goods. If you know me, I am a planner. I am so organized. This is my jam. And that's why we wanted to do this call. Reagan is like amazing at what she just did, and she helps me with that, and I help her with this exact thing. We're like, we need to tell others about this. Okay, so I love that Reagan already had you do your highest self and write that down. You know who that is in detail. And when you are going through exactly what she just got done talking about, when you're going through with like, so my relationship with my husband, blah, 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 this is what I want it to be by the end of this year or by the end of this month or whatever that is. Make sure you guys actually fill all of your categories out because that's so important. Even the ones you don't struggle in. But so I have 4 tangible tips and tricks, I don't know, that you can take and use and implement, because I am someone that I have to take one thing and apply that one thing before I move on to the next. Otherwise, I get too jumbled with information. No matter if it's in my business or personal life, I'm like, whoa, 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 slow down. Let me take this one tip and implement it and apply it to my life and then move on. And I think that's where a lot of people get really confused and get stuck or, just overwhelmed with information. There's so many goals. It's the new year. Oh my gosh, 2020, I'm going to make this year amazing. But everyone is telling you so many things that they have, and your list of goals is just on and on and on. And there's no top goals to focus on. There's too many. You're overwhelming yourself, your brain, all the things. So I want you to first, we're just going to take 2 minutes, literally bullet point these. They don't have to be in detail. I want you to make a list of all of your goals. All of your goals you are focusing on this year. If they don't come to your mind right now, they're irrelevant, okay? Your goals for this year, what are you gonna focus on? Go. I want you to also keep in mind, this can be for your career, your business, personal relationships, all of the categories of life. Write down all of your goals. And I want you to think about, as you're writing these down, I want you to think about what you did last year or the year before that made you feel good and that made you feel bad. Because those are the goals where you need to focus on the most, okay? So from 2019, my nutrition rocked until my wedding. After my wedding, boom, out the window. That still counts as last year. I was prepping for my wedding body, and then boom, after the wedding, it was out the window. This year, I am making one of my top health goals to get back down to my pre-wedding weight and not stop myself, no matter what. Because last year, that's where I found myself struggling. I got to my goal and then I backtracked and I slipped and it messed up everything. So when you're thinking about these goals, keep in mind that throughout what I'm going to talk about and throughout of what I'm going to tell you on how to apply and implement them, This is why, because I know each and every one of us on this call, we've all got to our goal. Maybe we got to our goal the first month of the year, and then we've backtracked. I know we've all done it. And this year, we're not letting that happen, okay? So is everyone good on those goals, or are you still going? I'll give you like 30 more seconds. Okay, you can finish up as I talk, but right when you were done with this call, I know it's late, so maybe first thing in the morning, but I want you to tell someone all of your goals. Your spouse, your mom, your sibling, your dogs. No, don't tell your dogs. I would totally tell my dogs, but don't tell them. I want you to tell somebody to hold you accountable. I don't want you to tell somebody that's going to make you feel bad about it. I don't want you to tell somebody who's going to try to bring you down. I want you to tell the person in your life or the people in your life that are going to cheer you on, whether it's me. If you pick up your phone and text me your goals, that's fine. Or Reagan, that's fine. I want you to tell the person that's going to help you get there. Okay? So when you do this, I think it's super important to keep that in mind, because a lot of times we have parents or siblings or friends that like to bring you down when you're trying to feel good. So I really want you to keep that in your mind, okay? And I know that's sometimes hard to like really think about. And you're like, oh, I would tell this person. And then after I said that, you're like, oh, well, geez. So really think about who you're going to tell. My go-to, obviously my husband, my sisters, they make me really intimidated when I tell them my goals. It's just how we are. So I would never tell them all of my goals that I'm making here, that I made today, okay? But I would tell him, because I know that if he sees me want a cheeseburger in the middle of the afternoon, he'd be like, let's talk about that. You know, he's going to be there for me on my bad days and my good days. Okay, so number 2, that was number 1 if you're writing these down. Number 2 is I want you to use a daily journal. I want you to use a daily journal of your choice, but these are the things that I want you to use it for, okay? It's not just a daily journal. Like I have my contentment journal that I do every day. This is not the type of journal I want you to do for this. This is something that you can do on your own free time. But for these goals, for your vision building practice for 2020, I want you to have a plain journal that you can do these things. I'm going to say them all. I'll talk about them too. So I want you, we just talked about this, say your goals like they've already happened. You've already accomplished them. You're already there. You've completed them. It's the first of the year and you've done it. Even though you haven't, you are going to say it like it happened, because you will get there. Okay? So after you say them like you are, like they've already happened, I want you to do that every day. Every morning, it's just like Rachel Hollis says, start today journal. You are going to say these, not just say them, say them and journal them every single day. And while you're doing that, I want you to put the date at top of your journal, whether that's, if you have 3 main goals you're doing every single day. I am a 5-star diamond coach. I am an elite coach. My nutrition, whatever those are, you're doing that every single day. And a good number to have is 3 to 5 goals, really big main goals. Of course, you can have more, but I would not go below 3. I would really like to challenge you to have 3 main goals at least. And I want you to push yourself with these goals. I don't want you to say, if you are a Beachbody person, I know that a lot of Beachbody people are going to be watching this, so that's why I'm going to use this as my example. I don't want you to say, well, I'm a 2-star diamond coach. My goal is to be a 3-star diamond coach. No. Push yourself. At least 5-star, okay? You can do it. You will do it, because it's scientifically proven that the more you write that down, the more you visualize it and say it, it is proven to happen, okay? So that is why we're doing this. I want you to, every month, make sure you're writing this, every month I want you to look back at your journal titles or your journal entries every month. So say one day you don't journal, you're able to see that. You're saying, wow, I remember that day. That was a bad day. I remember that day because blah, blah, blah happened. And with those daily goals that you're going to write, I want you below them to write why you want them. Because that's really important. You can say, I want to be the highest version of myself every day, or I am the highest version of myself every day. Why do you want that? What's so good about that? Why do you want to feel those feelings? Because you reading that and you rewriting that every day, it can change. You could be having a really bad day. I have random days full of anxiety. And on those days, I see that in my journal. I can feel it through my journal. And I'm able to connect back with those feelings and see, well, look at where I'm at today. Look at what I've done in my business today. Look at what I've done in my marriage today. And you comparing yourself back to those entries changes your mindset, okay? So I really want you to dial into your feelings in those entries, okay? Number 3, does anyone have any questions about those? We good? Okay. Feel free to ask any questions to either of us in the comments also, and we'll address them. Number 3 is I want you to have a schedule and a plan. This is vital to making sure that you hit your goals this year. Vital. You have to stay organized in your life because you could, the first of the year, we all have done it before. The first of the year, you say your goals to yourself. You're like, I'm going to be the best this year. Yes. And you list 10 things right there. You forgot them the next day, didn't you? I know we've all done it. I know we have because we're human. I want you to stay organized. So make sure that you keep this journal, even if it's just a notebook, okay? It's the same thing. It does the same purpose. You have to stay organized with it. Don't forget about it and leave it in a drawer tucked away. You have to stay organized. I want you to set daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly goals. You get that? Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. There's a reason the most successful people in this world achieve their goals, and it's because they just did what I said. When you are constantly waking up, challenging yourself every single day, and knowing what you need to work for and work towards, you're more likely to achieve it because you are constantly waking up, saying those goals like they've already happened, and then you're looking in your planner and you're seeing them again and again and again. It is literally repetitive. That is the secret sauce. I said that on my story today too. I don't know what it is about that. That is it, okay? Now, when you're looking for a planner, you need to find a good one. I literally went to Target and I ripped apart the aisle until I found one I want. I do the same at Home Goods and TJ Maxx, okay? It does not need to be expensive, but it needs to serve its purpose. It's not just a calendar, okay? Yes, Alyssa, I told her to get this one. It's awesome. So when you open it, I'm going to open it to February so you can see like a blank. So all I have in this so far, it's just your normal monthly calendar. All I have in it is like a few trips that I've already had scheduled, okay? Now, when I get halfway through a month, I go and I schedule out my February. So I would start writing team calls. Well, I already have team call written. So team calls every Tuesday night. We all know they're on Tuesday nights. Anything I know that is going in my planner already, it goes in it. That goes on my monthly calendar, just like that. I'm going to show you why I love this planner so much. This says, you can see it. This is for every week. This page is on every week of my planner. And it is my mantra for the week, better together. It says your network is your net worth. Don't forget to follow up. So all my business stuff goes in this one. I put anyone I need to follow up with. This is for my business part. Anyone I need to follow up with. So say you're not with a part of Beachbody. What do you need to do in your job this week that is vital? Okay, what's going to help you succeed? What's going to help you get that promotion? My inspiration, that's personal, okay? So this is a business personal planner. Inspiration, So that I put all of my personal development, I put my team calls, I put away takeaways from that one. And then the last one is self-care, because if you're not pouring into yourself, you cannot pour into anyone. That includes your relationships, that includes your dogs, literally your dogs. Like, I'm not kidding. When I don't do personal development for so long, I'm like, oh, get away from me. Like, it goes into everything. And I think people forget that. So you need to be taking care of yourself. Massage, nails, shopping, whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you feel like you are, oh yes, rocking it today. Like, you have to do at least once a week. I do self-care daily, like, come on. But you have to find what works for you and do it and put it in that column. And then it's my goals for the week and my to-do list for the week. So I wouldn't put like my invites on there, because I'm going to put those in my daily wide section. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I would put invites and I'd put a box, and when I get it done, I check it. Okay. So this is why I love this planner, because it truly does go through everything. And then at the end of the month, there's notes and budget. I love to budget. I love it. So you need to find a good planner. And I just wanted to show you, like, that's why I love my planner so much. You do not need to find this exact one. You just need to find one that serves your purpose for what you do. If you are a stay-at-home mom and you don't work at all, you know what? This planner would be to you, because that's totally irrelevant. You need to find a planner that you can schedule your kids' games, and that's it. Okay? So a big old planner that you can hang on the wall. If you are a stay-at-home mom and work a job like Reagan, this planner would be awesome, but it needs more, because she still would need more space for her kids and her crazy ass schedule. Okay. That's not big enough. So you have to find a planner that serves your purpose. Okay. I just wanted to show you that, just to make sure that you are aware of that. Once you find that planner, this is very important. Are you listening? You need to make a daily schedule every half hour. I want you to do this. You do not need to do this every day. I want you to do this every day for a week. That's it. Every day for a week, and establish your schedule. Monday, every half hour, you need to write down what you're doing every Monday. Exactly. Every half hour on Tuesday, and you actually have to do it every Tuesday. So a lot of times people will say, oh, from 1 to 4 o'clock, I'm doing this. No, you're not. You are not doing that from 1 to 4 o'clock. And I know you're not, and you know you're not. What are you doing from 1 to 1:30? I'm eating lunch. All right. What are you doing from 1:30 to 2? Oh, well, then I'm going to probably play outside with my dogs before I work for the afternoon. It goes in way deeper than you think. And when you do this, you're going to take a step back and be like, oh my gosh, like, I could be so much more productive and I could really focus on myself. Therefore, focusing on yourself and your schedule makes you less stressed, a better version of you. That's becoming your highest self. And you're going to already be on your way to achieving your yearly goals with that, because those two things go into it. Stress goes way further than you think. So every half hour, even if you work from 8 to 5, you need to be saying, you know what, from 8 until lunch break, I am working on these things. Lunch break. Afternoon, what do you have to do at work? When you get home, every half hour, what are you doing? Okay? And this starts the second you wake up. So I would literally put 5 to 5:30, pretend I'm not asleep still, and drink my pre-workout. I'm trying to get up earlier, okay? Don't judge me. So after that, I know these things don't really seem like they go into your goals, but I'm going to relate it here all in this point for the schedule and plan. You need to track everything. For 2 weeks, I challenge you to track everything. This is for anyone and everyone who is watching this call, okay? I want you to do this because you will become so aware of what you are doing every day with your money, with your health. So this means track your money. I spent 50 cents on a Laffy Taffy thing at Azteca when I went there for tacos. I'm not kidding. Do it. Like, we all know they have the little candy stands when you're walking out. I'm not kidding. It works. It's amazing. Track everything you eat. Track everything you spend. Track everything that you do in your relationship for that day or that week. I'm not kidding. This improves every aspect of your life because when you're tracking, you're visualizing and you're seeing. And it sounds silly and it sounds annoying and it sounds stupid, and I get it. But when I did this, it changed my life because I saw myself falling backwards when I thought I was going forwards. And that's the whole thing. You know what? You get to the end of a year and you say, wow, like this year I had such high hopes, but wow, it was really a shitstorm. Yeah, if you were tracking everything, you would see it. You would visually see that. And if you do this for 2 weeks, I guarantee you will not stop because that's how good you'll feel. With budget, you will be so conscious about what you spend. If you're spending that 50 cents on a damn Laffy Taffy at a Mexican restaurant, hey, when you go to Target, what did you actually spend on Target and what did you tell your husband? I'm not kidding. These things are amazing. Ian literally just saw a new pair of shoes I just bought when he was getting me toilet paper. And I'm like, oh, no, they were on clearance. They actually were on clearance, but hey, joke's on him. I was going to go spend $70 on a new pair, but I found them on clearance at Target. So I had to buy them, but guess what? It went in my tracker. And then I was kind of mad that I bought them. So you have to literally track everything. I wanted to give you examples because that's literally what you're supposed to do. So when you track all that stuff, it will go into your goals more than you ever even imagine. Number 4, I'm almost done, I'm sorry. Number 4 is visualize. That's what this whole call is about. You need to make a vision board. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you say you don't have any time at all. You need to make a vision board this weekend by Sunday. There's a due date, okay? I want you to do this for a lot of reasons, but the main one is that when you see your vision board, it's just like writing it down. It does not have to be pretty. I literally write mine on a piece of loose leaf. I'm not joking. I write it and I put exactly what my vision is, and I'll post pictures on there, and it looks like crap, but I see it and I know what it is. I need to make a prettier one because mine's literally junk. But you need to say to you need to see that every day as you're saying it to yourself. If you have it on your office desk, or if you have it, like in your guest bedroom or in your bedroom or wherever you're going to keep it, when you're seeing that every day, it's just as effective as when you're writing those down every day. Like I said, it's repetitive. You're doing all of these behaviors every single day. It's repetition for you to succeed. The second you stop doing all this, I promise you that you will give up on your goals because all of this goes into it so much more than we ever thought because we've never done it. So you forget about it. You've never done it. You forget about it. You forget about your goals. You move on. That's not the case this year. This year, you're doing it. You're tracking. You're visualizing. You're repeating everything every day because consistency works. Everybody knows that. You can find those at Pinterest or on Pinterest or Google if you want to make them look pretty. I'm actually going to set my due date for Sunday for myself too, because I promise I'll make a cute one. But that is all I have for you guys. I hope you took notes. I can share my notes too if you need them. But yeah. So Reagan, what do you think about all of this?
So I'm really glad that we went over organizing because funny enough, that's the part of my life where I really struggle, and my highest self is organized. I have that written down that my highest self is organized, but I find it really difficult because I have kids, and so my life is changing day to day. My kids could literally get the flu overnight, and then my whole day is shot because I'm dealing with a toddler who is super sick or something. So I just give myself grace in those moments. But something that I wanted to say also is just it's great when you start to see the full circle effect. So for example, I was just saying, my schedule is always changing, and so I have a hard time with organization, but I do put forth the efforts to organize every day. But if my day gets shot. Well, my highest self is also somebody who gives myself grace and is not super hard on myself in those moments. I'm able to be kind to myself and give myself grace because that is who I strive to be, as somebody who is kind to myself. So it's like funny when you see like the full circle effect there where you're like, well, my highest self is organized, but if something ends up going completely sideways that I cannot control, well, my highest self is also not one to worry about things that are out of my control. You know what I mean? It's just like really cool when you see that full circle effect happening in your life. And since I've been like focusing on like who my highest self is, I've seen that full circle effect happen a few times, and it's created this really nice balance and just peace in my life because you just see how everything connects to one another and plays its part, and it's really cool.
I love that. Yeah, it's so true. And like, I love that we put these two things together because it's so important to find who that is and how you can make those goals your top priority of the year while not even thinking about them, if that makes sense. So you just established your highest self. You've just established what your goals are for the year. And as you're doing all of this tracking and planning and organizing, you're not even going to realize those are your goals by the end of it because they're just so consistent with your life. And that's the biggest thing. Like, it's unreal. And I'm so excited to do this myself, honestly. Like, I have all the things I need to work on, and this will be the first full year that I implement all of these things we just talked about all at once for the entire year, because I've established, oh, this works. Oh, and that works. Like, let's put those together. But it's at different times of last year. So now that we have the full year, I'm so excited to see it all into play. So it'll be good.
I'm really glad that we decided to do this call. Like,
same here. I love it.
Soon too. Like, we just decided like a couple weeks ago. Like, we were just like, yeah.
We really did.
Yeah, no, it was a good idea, and I'm glad we did it.
Yes. Does anyone have any questions at all about any of this? Yes, tomorrow will be so good. I want you guys to check in with us too. Like, if you like message us wherever, like, just, that'd be cool to hear from you. And the end of the year, you better.
Right. That's right.
We should almost host one of these like in December.
I know, right? With like our,
and like we just get on and just say what we accomplished.
Yeah, we should do this in December with
reflection
our OGs
session. Yes, I'm writing it in my planner right now. I love it. Otherwise, I'll forget about it.
Right? I know. I feel like we need calls like this more often because, like, this is like what keeps you on track, right? If you know that you have to check in with somebody like every so often, and you have to like, hold yourself accountable, it keeps you on track for sure. I feel like we could all accomplish a lot.
Oh, yes. Well, awesome. We won't keep you guys all night. So let us know if you have any questions after you're doing this and implementing these things. But other than that, thank you guys so much for hopping on. This was awesome. And we will chat soon.
Good night, everybody.